is all new for me. I'm not a formal trainer.
Gotcha.
I love my horses. I want to ride. I have sent her to a trainer, off and on. They have to work with me more than her, but so this is a great learning experience. And so everything that you tell me, like what you're seeing, is going to be invaluable learning, growth tool for me, and a growth, because I'm my background is just a backyard rider, so to speak. So this is going to be fabulous. So,
but you're a school teacher also, though, right?
What?
You said you're a teacher?
I was for 19 years. Yep.
Oh, so yeah, that's a pretty good. I'll probably learn at least as much from you as you will from me here. So thanks for being patient with me as I learn to teach. I appreciate it. And
I can help you with that part, and you can help me with the horse part and learn all about that. So we're good.
Gotcha. I am more than willing. Yes, no, your feedback on my teaching would be fantastic. You're being a very good sport to put up with me while I bumble through it. So
no, you're doing great. You're doing great, Isabel. Really.
So
it's hard for me.
The basics of your course.
Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry, it's a little tricky on Zoom.
Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit, so we'll just have to.
It's breaking up. All right, let me see what I can do. It's when I changed the screen size, it affected it the last time. I'm not sure when I screen share it. It does seem. Let me slide my screen over and see if that helps a bit. So just give me a breakdown on your horse in terms of how many years you've had her and what you've done with her.
I've had her from rescue 3 years. She has had 2 years of no work. Her first year, she was extremely tiny and malnourished. So she just had a year and a half of being just a horse. Then we started training with a trainer for a little bit, and she was phenomenal, like so easy. And then he hurt his hip, so I would ride her occasionally, trail rides and stuff like that. And then this past year, she's been off for another year because her behavior got really bad, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. And even the trainer's like, he didn't believe me when I was saying different things. And she had Lyme's really, really badly. So, so all winter she was being treated. And so she has been only in like partial training or any kind of work for about a year, but it's been broken up to 6 months. And then she was off a year. And then she's just starting back into retraining her brain with some of the glitches that Lyme seems to have done.
Gotcha. So. Okay, cool. And how old is she?
She's just 6.
Oh, she's still a youngster. Okay, cool.
She's baby.
She's baby. Okay, let me see if I can get the video back up here. So thanks for all those details. So I put together some clips to explain the basic exercises we start with. What we start with in the beginning here is what they call the Stencil Exercises, where you use a cavesson. You're going to influence the horse's nose for her to lower her head down, and influence the horse's body to get their center of mass back. And we use here just good. So you start with just basic pressure release training here. So what I do with my guy is you don't really pull down with your arm. You're just going to put your hand right on the clip, right by the cavesson, and just tighten up your fifth. And you're just applying enough. You're not trying to pull the horse's head down, but just apply communication for pressure. And as soon as your horse responds, you let go.
Right.
And
I love that.
The method. Gotcha. And it's the concept they use is something called release, relax, reward. So at the very beginning, you ask a little and you give a lot. And these clips, as soon as he gives me any indication that he's going to respond, I take my hand off immediately. So be really fast to reward. Whether you use treats or not is up to you. I use it with some horses and not with others. So you can experiment with that as you like. But you just, in the beginning, a little pressure on the nose. We're just trying to get the horse to respond and lower their head to hear us to start. So first, just start to communicate that we'd really like them to lower their head when we ask them to. And over time, they start to get the idea so that you can ask for more. So here I had been doing it for a couple of days. My horse had started to get comfortable with it.
Right.
He's fussing for a treat, so it's not gonna be perfect, but he's more relaxed. He gets the idea. I can ask him to lower his head. He's very comfortable. I can ask him to take a step. He really likes his cookies. He provided those to be motivational. So you want to build it up, and as soon as the first day or over the course of a week or two, however it goes for you, depending upon your horse. The speed that you progress at is just, you want to just emphasize the relationship here. So here, my horse, he's really relaxed. He's really happy. He's really comfortable. And that's the you want to be in. You want to build the skills and the relationship at the same time. You work with your horse, your laboratory, you can experiment with it. If you get off track one day, no big deal. The most important thing is that if things go the wrong way or you're not sure, you stop doing what you're doing, you look at the video or you think about it or you send me a message and ask me. It's perfectly fine to say, I tried this, I'm not quite sure what's going on. And then you go back and you analyze. They do what they call it's a think, act, check, change cycle. So you go out to the arena, you think about doing the standstill exercises. It works, it doesn't work. You come back, you think about it and reformulate it and go out and do it again. So you shouldn't expect to get it all done one day.
Yeah, she will do it. It'll be me. It'll be more for her as smart and she is most of the time compliant and wants to please. It'll be me, giving her the correct signals. Like, so she's
definitely part of it. Yep. You're on the perfect track. You have got it. So it's you and she practicing together. Maybe sometimes she picks it up faster than you or vice versa, but that's no problem. You keep checking in with her and you guys move together as you are comfortable.
Okay.
And you can use treats or not. So what we're trying to do, we start by asking them to lower their head down. So here my horse has got the idea. He's got his head down. Now what happens when we do this is we kind of tend to pull their balance and get them on their front legs. This is kind of necessary for first step. We want them to relax their under neck and stretch their top line down. But what we really like is for their front legs to be closer to the vertical. So my blue line here is the vertical line and the red line is the line of a leg. So he's compliant and he's agreeing. But at this point, he's kind of got all his weight in his chest. So this is just the beginning step. It's not where we want to end up. As you first get his compliance or your horse's compliance with her agreeing and being comfortable and happy with you when you ask to lower her head down, then you're going to use cues probably at the chest, but you could also do it at the nose. You can use backup steps, but our goal is to get a backup posture. So when he just stretches down, he's leaning over in his chest over his front leg. Well, we've got him rocked back. He's got his front legs straight, and he's starting to get some engagement where the green arrow is at the front line. Now he still mostly has all his weight in the circle there, and the hind end is kind of hanging out. But it's still, this is our first step from here, and then we try to get them to there. And Lucky's going to demonstrate to you a horsemanship day here. So I was working with him and he had something behind him that he was upset about.
Okay.
So he was being compliant and being a really good guy, and he was trying. So I understand he's nervous about the thing behind him. He picks his head up. So I gave him a cookie. I let him go over to the bucket, up and go ahead and spook. So all this kind of stuff is perfectly fine. So you keep the environmental issues in mind. You know, we had good moments where he was working the exercises well. Then I put him in a position where he had too much to focus on. And just as long as you keep folding those things in and asking the question of, you know, is the reason I'm not getting what I want because of something else going on?
Right.
So
Right.
all of the exercises are going to be framed by the environmental stuff, how you feel, how he feels. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind, because we want to be building the relationship as much as you're building the exercises. So that's the standstill exercises, using pressure at the cavison, moving his center of mass back at the halt. Now, when you get ready to walk off, you're going to use what they call the inner picture, inner feeling, which means you prepare inside your head for what you're going to do. And that gives you a couple of things. It gives you some body language that the horse can read. So as soon as you start to think, I'm going to walk off now, your horse is going to notice the change in the body language. It also gives you a signpost, so you have a place to give a release for. So you have a definite thing you're aiming for, and then you can release, relax, reward the horse at that point.
Right.
And when you walk them off, we want to keep your hand, to start with, going to keep your hand right at the clip. So in this video clip here, I'm going to lower my horse's head down. I'm going to ask him to bring his head, laterally bend his head a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. We'll have to go over stelling next time. I realized I missed that. But as we will walk off, I'm going to cue his back end. So I'm not going to want to pull him off. Ideally, it's going to be just like if you
So
and
you're
a
like
friend
driving him forward from the back.
The ideal thing is like you and your friend walking together. So if you could think of you and your friend went to visit a city, you go to New York City and you're going to walk across the street, you go together. You look at her, she looks at you, and the two of you kind of decide, okay, we're going to cross the other street now. So, but I'm going to cue his inside leg to step up, because we're going to develop what we call the LFS on the circle. So the L is the lateral bend, and the bend we get from their inside hind leg stepping forward. When they step forward with that inside leg, that side of their body has to contract and shorten. So this is how we're going to initiate the bend on the circle from the hind neck. And then we're going to get the direction with the head by our connection with the hand. So give him a little tap, get his hind leg, and then he and I are going to walk off together. I take a step, he takes a step. And
so in unison, basically.
So sorry?
In unison together.
That's a very good word, in unison, yes. So that he and I are going together. I'm influencing his hind leg with the stick, and I'm influencing his nose with my hand. But energetically, it's more the feeling of our two bodies going forward. Now, this clip is just to show you when things don't go quite right. I'm very fond of the video camera, and I use it every time. In this clip, I'm going to go off to the left, and he is very determinedly bent right. And I'm going to try a few things. I'm going to try to move his shoulder over. I try to use the whip there, move his shoulder with my finger. And yet, when we walk off, we both go right. And as soon as I let go of him, his head goes right.
So is that because Grace has an issue with, like when we ride her, she wants to lead with her left shoulder, or And
Yeah, so the horses are naturally asymmetrical, and the asymmetry is what we deal with a lot in straightness training. Part of this video clip is to show, at the time I had noticed when we went to walk off, I hadn't noticed we drifted this far right. And I hadn't noticed that I kept trying to fix the problem, and yet I was unsuccessful. So the video is really useful for showing you these kinds of things. And then I pick him up. He very agreeably brings his nose right back over for me, and we step off, and then we go.
Gotcha.
So I couldn't quite get this sorted at the time, because it was too new to me and I couldn't really see what was going on. But with the video, you can clearly see I'm thinking left and he's still falling right. So this is just the kind of stuff that when you practice, you can start to pick up on. A lot of, the problems that we notice when they're big problems, they really start as very small problems. So this very small problem here is, I want to go left and he's still going right. And at the time, I was like completely, I missed the whole.
Right there beside her, I can't.
Yeah.
Like I much better seeing her when other people are leading her or riding her. I can see when her body's off and wonky. I mean, they can feel it too, but like I have a hard time catching stuff. And I just found out, I don't know if I told you or who I was telling, if it was telling another girl. I've got all sorts of blind spots going on in my peripheral vision. Like pretty bad. And so that would explain why my timing's been so far off and I haven't been able to catch her early until she's past me or whatever. It's because I literally have blind spots and not blind spot, but true visual blind spots. So that made me feel better. But then I'm like, okay, Lord, please don't let me go blind here, So it makes, I've given myself, I'm not as hard on myself about, not being about my timing being so slow. Well, it was slow because I couldn't see it. So I'm having to come up with some creative ways, like putting my hand out when I lead her, because some of the Western world is like, you should be able to lead. They should be able to stay behind you and be cognizant of your body and not walk over top of you. So, but I could never see her until she was up to, her nose was past my shoulder because I literally had a blind spot. So I've been using my touch of my hand to catch her coming up. She likes being up your grill anyway. So it's been interesting that, I didn't know this until the last couple of weeks, and I've got to go to Hershey all day for some testing. But that was interesting. And so when you're doing this work that you're doing, because you're more engaged and the horse is not behind you and supposed to, gauge itself, I think it's going to be easier for us in a relationship, kind of working relationship, and that kind of thing. And it's like, I'm not going to be able to keep her, behind me and corrected to walk on a loosey-goosey, lead and her just kind of plod along, because she likes to be engaged. She likes to be involved, and I can't catch her enough to cue her to stay back there to really train that correctly. You know what I mean? So that's
totally.
Yeah, it made it just not for us. And like after watching you, and I'm like, okay, it's okay if I don't do that.
It's totally okay that you don't do that. And yes, so you're perfectly on track. Yes. With this method, with this straightness training that we do, it's somewhat the opposite of that kind of natural horsemanship thing, where yes, you're very much checking in with the horse, scanning with the horse. You keep looking at their hind end, feel their front end, with your connection from your hand to their nose. And also you're supposed to be scanning the whole horse's body the entire time. So yes, you've identified that correctly. It's pretty much the exact opposite of that horse just stay behind me, more natural horsemanship kind of thing. The whole point is for us to strongly engage with the horse really look at the horse and try to get a really strong, detailed, energetic connection with the horse. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that this could work for you. Is there anything else that is not clear? I covered a lot of stuff, and I will upload onto YouTube. So I try to explain the release, relax, reward for formula, the lateral bending forward, down, and stepping under. I missed something that they call stelling. So I'm going to make a note, and that's about how you articulate the horse's head right and left. So I will make a note to make something up to explain to you, and we can cover that the next time that we chat. That I missed. The inner picture, inner feeling, which is important so that you can communicate with your body language what your intention is, but also so that you can have a goalpost. So you're aiming for a specific thing. So I would really like for my horse to step up with the hind leg. When he does, I can give him a reward. I can stop to give a release and a relax. Otherwise, sometimes we get stuck in, I just want it better, faster, more. And we don't actually set up a goalpost for where we can say, yes, horse, you did it right.
Well, I need
so you
that. I need that as I don't know what those are. Like, I haven't been doing horses for a long time. So having very clear directions and goals, and without 20 all in one, but just manageable baby steps, I guess, is awesome.
Good to hear it. All right. So everything I said makes sense?
Yes, you explained it very well. I love the way you break it down to the small pieces or whatever. If it's the program and you're just doing, you're doing a great job. I totally get it. Now, putting it into practice is going to be the next thing. It's like, okay, this all makes sense and it's easy. I like the baby steps and that, but then to do it when I get out there and not blanking out, but like you said, I'll have this on my phone that I can relook at will be good. So
have it on your phone. I will upload it to YouTube. You can put it on your phone so you can review. Video is really helpful. So if you can get someone to video you or get a pivo, or even, just a lot of people start just putting their phone up, leaning it, you put it on top of the barrel there. So you've got those nice blue barrels that are perfect height, and lean it up against something. A lot, especially the stencil exercises, you start in a small space. You don't really need the camera to follow you around, especially with a lot of this stuff in the beginning. And the video is very helpful. So you can see what you're doing. The video is very helpful, and it's so helpful that you get over I don't want to make any proclamations that might not be true, but it's totally worth the discomfort of seeing yourself. Because the information you get back is so useful. It can be fill in a lot of blanks and answer a lot of questions and be very helpful and hopefully very motivating.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I will, are you busy this week? Want me to check in with you and see if you've had time to practice, or do you want me to?
Well, I will practice tomorrow and Wednesday during the day for sure. I will try Thursday also. I am going to Virginia. I'm not putting this on Facebook or anything, to actually see my mom and my family, and my daughter is bringing the baby grandboys up. So we're going to have a family staycation in Virginia. So I'll be gone Friday through, I think we're coming back on the 6th, morning of the 6th. So it's going to be an extended vacation. My son's coming up from Georgia. So I won't be doing it then, but I do plan on trying to get the 15 minutes in the next 3 days for sure. So.
Cool. That's great to hear. I hope it works out for you. Feel free to send me any questions. If you want to send me a short video clip, that's totally fine too. Send me as much as you want to. I'm here to answer anything or help you out in any way.
All right. You're awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your help with this. I really appreciate it, and happy practicing.
you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. All right.
right,
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.